welcome to our chemistry class. Hope you are fine. Think like a proton, always positive. Today, we are going to discussing about a new topic that is ionic bonding. So, what is ionic bonding? Are you familiar with this term? Have you heard about sodium chloride? Yes. Which are the elements present in it? Good. Sodium and chlorine. How they combine with each other? All right. Today we are going to discussing about its formation, which is an example for ionic bonding. Are you ready? Yes. Let's start our class. Here, the Bohr atom model of sodium and chlorine atom is depicted. So, what is the atomic number of sodium atom? Correct. It is 11. So, what about chlorine atom? Yes, it is 70. So, what is the electronic configuration of sodium atom? Correct. It is 281. What about chlorine atom? Very good. 287. How many electrons are present in outermost shell of sodium atom? Good. It is 1. Then what about chlorine atom? Correct. There are 7 electrons present in the outermost shell of chlorine atom. Do they are stable? Good. They are not stable. Why? What is the reason for it? Yes, they don't possess octet electron configuration, or we can say that they do not have 8 electrons in the outermost shell, so they are not stable. So, how will they attain stability? Yes, they will take part in chemical reactions or chemical bonding. So, I will show you a video of the formation of sodium chloride. You should observe it carefully and tell me what are the changes that you observed in the video. Are you ready? Yes. Do you observe the video? Yes. What are the changes that you observed in this video? Good. Sodium loses one electron from its outermost shell and that electron was accepted by chlorine atom. What are the changes that occurs in the charge of sodium and chlorine? Yes, after losing the electron, sodium becomes positive charged species and after accepting that one electron, chlorine becomes a negatively charged species. As a result of it, there arises a bond, which is ionic bonding. Then I will show you the diagrammatic representation of the formation of sodium chloride. Here is the diagrammatic representation of sodium chloride. The sodium atom loses one electron from its outermost shell and that electron was accepted by chlorine atom. After losing the electron, the sodium atom becomes positively charged species which is called sodium ion. After accepting the one electron from sodium atom, chlorine becomes a negatively charged species which is known as chloride ion. Here, the two charged species which are opposite in nature are formed. So, what are the peculiarities in the outermost electrons of sodium ion and chloride ions? Yes, they have 8 electrons or they possess octet electron configuration. Do they attain stability? Yes, they have stability now. Why? Because they have octet electron configuration. Here, two charges are erased, which is in opposite nature. Which are they? Yes, sodium Na plus and Cl minus. As a result of the formation of two charges, they arise an electrostatic force of attraction, which is called ionic bond. Clear? Okay, I will show you a chart that illustrates some details about these atoms. So here, the change in electronic configuration, number of electrons, number of protons, and charge of sodium and chlorine is depicted. So, what is the electronic configuration of sodium before chemical reaction? Yes, it is 281. Then, how it changed after chemical reaction? Yes, it becomes 28. Then, what about chlorine? Very good. Before chemical reaction, it is 287, and after the chemical reaction, it becomes 288. Then, what about the number of electrons? Good. Before chemical reaction, the number of electrons present in sodium is 11, and after the chemical reaction, it becomes 10. Then, what about chlorine? Very correct. Before chemical reaction, the number of electrons in chlorine is 17, and after the chemical reaction, it becomes 18. Is there any change in the number of protons? No. Very correct. Why? Yes, in a chemical reaction, the only electrons are take parts. Then, what about the charge of these two species? Yes, before chemical reaction, the charge of sodium and chlorine is 0. After the chemical reaction, the charge of sodium become +1 and charge of chlorine become -1. Okay, you got it. Very good. Here is we studied today. During the formation of sodium chloride, sodium atom donates an electron and gets converted to sodium ion, which is depicted by Na+. Then, chlorine atom accepts an electron to form chloride ion, which is depicted as Cl-. Generally, the positive ions formed by the losing of electrons in a chemical reaction is called, or they are called, cations, and the negative ions formed by accepting electrons are called. Here, during the formation of sodium chloride, sodium atom loses an electron, it becomes sodium ion. It is positively charged in nature. It is represented as Na+. Similarly, chlorine atom accepts the electron from sodium and become a negatively charged ion called chloride ion. It is represented as Cl-. Generally, the positive ions formed as a result of loss of electron in a chemical reaction is termed as cations. Similarly, the negative ions formed as a result of gain of electrons in a chemical reaction is termed as anions. Here, sodium ion is the cation and chloride ion is the anion. The sodium ion and chloride ion are held together by a force called ionic bond. Is it clear? Okay, good. In the case of bond formation in sodium chloride, the energy plays an important role behind it. In the case of sodium atom, it loses electron, and in the case of chlorine atom, it accepts electron by means of certain amount of energy. The amount of energy required to remove the loosely bound electron from an isolated gaseous atom is termed as ionization energy. In the case of sodium atom, the ionization energy is involved. In the case of chlorine atom, the energy involved is electron gain enthalpy. It is the energy released when an electron is added to a neutral gaseous atom and to form a negative ion is electron gain enthalpy. So these are the two energies, or these are the two enthalpies that influence in ionic bonding. Clear? Which are the two energies? Yes, very good. They are ionization energy and electron gain enthalpy. The electron gain enthalpy is associated to which atom? Yes, it associated to chlorine atom. Then ionization energy is associated to which atom? Yes, it associated to sodium atom. Is it clear? Okay, good. So, we can give a definition to ionic bond. That is, ionic bond or it is an electrostatic force of attraction that holds together the oppositely charged ions in an ionic compound. Or we can define that the electrostatic force of attraction that holds together the oppositely charged ions in an ionic compound is called ionic bond. It is also called electrovalent bond. It is also called, yes, electrovalent bond. So this is the definition of ionic bond. So the compounds formed as a result of ionic bond are called ionic compounds. Clear? So the first question is, what do you mean by ionic bond? Very good. It is an electrostatic force of attraction between two ions which are in opposite charge. Okay, the next question is, what are cations and anions? Very good. Cations are positively charged species in an ionic compound and anions are negatively charged species in an ionic compound. Or otherwise, we can say that cations are positively charged species formed as a result of loss of electron and anions are negatively charged species formed as a result of accepting electrons. Then, what is the cation and anion present in sodium chloride? Good. In sodium chloride, the cation present in Na plus or sodium ion and anion present is Cl minus ion or chloride ion. Hope you got the idea. I will give a homework question for you. You should write in your notebook and bring back to next class. The question is, explain the ionic bonding in magnesium oxide. Okay, let me conclude my class